Hey mamas, I'm about to head out for a week's vacation that requires some conscious packing and planning. No, it's not a luxurious European getaway, but rather my annual camping trip. And to be honest, that trip requires more packing thought for me because I have to take all the elements into consideration. Thus, the daily weather app check-ins. And how could I not find a way to correlate this to divorce? I take you everywhere with me. Packing for camping is like planning for divorce. No, you can't plan for every outcome, but you can set yourself up well. Your lawyer will get you through your divorce, but who gets you through it? You may not know what you need right now, but finding out is the first step to divorcing smarter. So let me share what tents, rain, and camping has taught me about divorce prep. I'm calling this conversation, "You may not know what you need in divorce, and that's not your fault." Hi there, mamas. Welcome to the Intuitive Divorce Podcast. I'm Kristen Noel, certified divorce coach and creator of the Best Self Intuitive Divorce, a game-changing program that transforms the experience and outcomes of divorce, one mother at a time. I call it Divorcing Differently. I'm here each week bringing you a quick message to support, inspire, and empower you to achieve the outcomes you want for yourself and your kids. So let's dive into today's episode. As I write this, I'm packing my bags for our annual summer camping trip to northern Maine. I'll admit there's a bit of a tug-of-war, love-hate relationship I have with camping. To clarify, this is real camping, sleeping in a tent, campfires, the whole deal, for a week. After decades of camping, we're pretty tricked out with great equipment like cots and air mattresses, but I digress. There's still an internal struggle I experience preparing myself for a week in the wilderness. The push-pull is knowing how incredibly restorative a week in nature is for my nervous system, my relationship, my curiosity, and the reality that I'm in a tent for a week. Yes, I'm a bougie hotel girl, but the thought of missing my yearly pilgrimage to Maine hurts my heart. So here I find myself trying to prepare, even though you can't always prepare for all outcomes. I study the weather closely days before, and I lament the possibility of rain in the forecast. Ugh, tents and rain don't make for great friends. Realistically, you can't expect to go to coastal Maine and not see some rain, any more than you can enter a divorce and not experience some hiccups along the way. Maybe it'll rain. Maybe it won't. The weather can shift with the wind, like our moods. Now, I'm a planner, so I find comfort in thinking things out, trying to have a contingency plan, if necessary, do my homework, and prepare the best I can. What does that sound like? Yes, divorce. Like tracking weather, what if the best planning was building a network of support around yourself so that you could handle whatever challenge, rain or shine, came your way? Think of it as having a tarp to throw over your tent, another protective layer. God knows we can't control the weather any more than you can control a dysfunctional, gaslighting, narcissistic, soon-to-be ex. The reality is that you may not know what you need right now, and that's not your fault. Number one, you likely haven't been here before. And number two, you've probably been putting your own needs at the bottom of the laundry basket for far too long. Hey, you should have seen what we used to pack for camping 20 plus years ago. I used to walk around the campground with our kids, admiring all the gizmos and tricked out sights. Eventually, we figured out what we needed and upgraded our gear. It takes time to know what you need. It also takes curiosity. Have you asked yourself, what do you need? It's the best place to start. What comes up for you when you contemplate that question? Does it feel uncomfortable? Do you start to think about what your kids need? What is expected of you by others? What won't rock the boat? Pay attention to that because what you need is what you need first. Put that oxygen mask on first, and then you can attend to others. Sure, if you're divorce curious or already in the throes of the process, someone told you that you need a good lawyer, which is really code for shark, and a financial advisor to strategize on how to achieve the best objectives, and maybe a co-parenting counselor or mediator. That all sounds reasonable and necessary, but there's so much more to this story. And whether anyone tells you about it now or you figure it out yourself as you stumble through the process, there's a whole lot that unfolds in divorce. It's called your life. This isn't a buffet where you get to pick and choose as if to say, no, I'm not interested in dealing with feelings, my kids, or healing right now. I'll get to that later. Don't get me wrong. No one understands more than me, someone who has walked in your shoes, someone who has had her entire life blown up beneath her feet with a small child at her side, that it can all feel like too much. It is a lot, but you've likely been carrying around a lot, putting up with a lot, pretending a lot, bypassing your own needs a lot, denying what you know a lot, trying to keep it all together for everyone else a lot. Yes, it's a lot. And when you get raw and real with yourself, you know at the core of your being that it's actually too much and something has to give. Here's the deal. Your lawyer and financial advisor will play an important role in your divorce. They will help you make informed decisions through the process, but they won't be at home with you when your kids are unraveling or experiencing their own big feelings. They aren't with you when you receive triggering communications with your soon-to-be ex. They aren't there to guide you to navigate your sleepless nights, tossing and turning as you wrestle your overwhelm, fear, and emotions. They aren't at your side to help you calm your nervous system, set healthy boundaries, embrace your authority, hear your intuition, consciously communicate, protect your kids, heal, and reclaim your life. Because that's not their wheelhouse. But all of that will be a part of this process because this is your life we're talking about. And it's you and your kids that will live with the consequences of your choices. That's why I beat the drum that the condition you are in while divorcing impacts the experience and outcomes of your divorce. You'll get to the other side of your divorce, but in what condition? What condition will your kids be in? What condition will your finances be in? What condition will you be in when you're flip-flopping in your own head in a game of emotional ping pong? Don't let this scare you. If you're here, it's because you know that something needs to change. And I want you to know that you don't have to do it alone. What you need is to allow yourself to have needs. Allow yourself to ask for help. Allow yourself to want better for you and your kids, even if this feels like you're flexing new muscles, because you are. A divorce is an ending of a marriage, but it can also be the ending of dysfunction, old patterns, and leaving behind all that is no longer serving your highest good. You are allowed to make a different choice, to say no more. You're being called by your intuition right now to answer your own questions, validate your feelings, and acknowledge what you know in your gut to be true. You're being called to be you. And when you act on what you need, you put yourself on a better path to a better divorce, a path that gives you clarity, guides you with strategy, and invites you to heal. It's called an intuitive divorce, and it's the place where the women I coach are divorcing smarter, healing faster, protecting their kids, and reclaiming their lives. And as if that wasn't enough of a reason to convince you to look at this all differently, as a result, they're saving time, money, and heartache. That's divorcing differently. Thanks for listening to today's episode, but more importantly, for making this time for yourself. If you're a professional, independent mother facing off with divorce, struggling with your emotions, worried about your kids and your future, and want a better way to navigate it all, I've got 2 ways to completely change the trajectory of your divorce and your life starting today. The first is our free divorce workshop. In this training, you'll learn the 3 steps to get off the emotional roller coaster and take control of your divorce so you can save time, money, and heartache for you and your family. Simply go to intuitivedivorce.com/workshop. And the second way is to book a free strategy call with our team, where we'll dive into your situation, your struggles, what you really want, and outline a path to get you there. For a short video and the booking link, go to intuitivedivorce.com/call. Check it out, and I'll see you inside. Now I have a favor to ask you, Mama. If you enjoyed this conversation and were inspired in your own divorce, please subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss future juicy talks. And I'd be so grateful if you'd leave a review so together we can help other mamas walking in the same shoes.